Okay. So hello, everyone. I'm so glad that you're here. We are really happy to announce that we're going to enter into this new area of education law. And even though it may be new for me, I have two special guests tonight where this field is not brand new. In fact, it's something that they're extremely passionate about because, as we all know, I think everyone can say that they either know someone or there's someone in their family who is going through the special education system or may have some sort of educational disability. And I can tell you right now that the people that I have are very passionate about this and really want to make sure families have the information that they need to be empowered when it comes to this area. So we're excited to announce that we're going to have a webinar on Thursday, November 4th, beginning at 6:30, and it's basically about understanding the special education system, overcoming the stigma of special education, and effectively advocating for your child. So without further ado, I'm really, really happy to announce my co-host of this webinar. First is going to be Nicole Norman. Can you tell the people who you are and why this area is so special to you?
All right, excellent. Well, first, hello, Lakeisha, and you told them who I am, Nicole Norman. But honestly, special education has been my passion, my pursuit for almost 20 years, or maybe a little bit over 20 years now that I think about it. I think I got my start in this back in 1997 when I was a discrete child therapist for children with autism. And this is a vehicle. This is another vehicle working with kids who are very vulnerable. And when you're working with a vulnerable population, you don't want to give them less. You want to give them what they need to make sure that they can be productive members of society too. So that's why I'm in it. You know, education was a major vehicle for me, and it should not depend on one's location, one's ability, one's just aptitude to decide on whether or not they're going to get education. So this is an area that is meaningful to me. It means a lot to me, and I want to make sure that parents, as well as our organization, people like you, Lakeisha, and you, Kelly, have the tools necessary to go ahead and make sure the kids can have a meaningful educational experience.
So tell us about your company. You have a business that focuses in this area, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your company.
Okay, so my company is called Puzzles Education Services, and I'm the managing coordinator for that. What we do is we partner with school districts, we partner with community people, parents, attorneys, teachers, to help put the pieces of education back together again to work better for students, for children. A lot of service that there's a lot we kind of a boutique business, and there's a lot of service that we offer. A lot of it what school districts would know about will be our independent evaluation services. You know, we consist of psychologists and speech therapists, social workers, and learning consultants, and we step into the void if school district have needs, or if parents have needs. We not only offer those services just for the traditional independent education evaluation services, but we also offer in different languages. You know, so there's a bilingual need in our county, in our area, and we able to fulfill that. So if a child speaks Spanish, we can be there to provide. All right, but that's only one element. Again, we are educators. We are educators that have covered the whole realm of education, from being a paraprofessional to teachers to support personnel, as well as administrators. And because of that, we have a lot of things to offer in the realms of strategic planning and leadership development, and just making sure they optimize the resources that they need to give the kids, again, I'm gonna say this phrase again, a meaningful education experience. What I found out just working with different families and different school districts is the answers is there already. There's just need somebody from the outside to take a look at it with fresh eyes to help them, basically help them get there, and provide for these kids. You know, these kids have a right, and they have a right to an education. And we have a mission. Our mission is to provide them with it. And that's what we do. We help you fulfill your mission so they can enjoy their rights.
Wow. So it sounds like you provide not only a good resource for parents, but a good resource for schools so that schools can make sure they are in compliance and giving these kids and allowing these kids to have the rights and to be able to have the right education, the education that they're entitled to. Okay.
Indeed.
Wow.
So and that's exactly what we do. You know, we do have it like, well, just talking to you, we do work with parents to help advocate for the needs of their child. But what I wish that a lot of school districts would do is just, instead of having that adversarial relationship with parents and stuff, partner with people like me to help them build that that foundation, that framework that keep parents inclusive as partners in their education. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to go to court. It doesn't have to go to due process, or it doesn't have to be in a relationship where the community doesn't trust the school district, even though the school district is in that community. It doesn't. It just needs that. It needs to be. It has to have communication. So Puzzles is here for organizations to do that. But in lieu that doesn't happen, or they don't see that at the time, Puzzle is also there for parents to make sure they get what they need.
Right. So in the event that, so you are the bridge to that. So the bridge for the parents, the community, and the school. But if it does get adversarial, that's certainly where I come in. So that's why it's so good that we're partnering in this to give people the education and the resources that they need. So I am excited to be a partner in this with you, Nicole. So I can't wait for people to hear.
Yeah, it's completely my pleasure. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Well, with that being said, we have someone, Kelly Thomas. Oh my goodness, I'm just so excited about what you do. I think that we're doing this together purely based on your passion and your drive. So I can't wait for people to hear about what you do and what you bring to the table. So can you tell the folks about yourself?
Yes, I will. So first I want to say, Mr. Norman, you said so many things. I'm over here like just ready to jump out of my seat. But so I am an ABA therapist. I work in a classroom currently with children on the autism spectrum. Most of the students that I've worked with are nonverbal. So like you said, they are very vulnerable. So they definitely need advocates. I just got into the special education field about 5 years ago. And prior to that, that was not a goal of mine, because the stigma of special education, I had it. I had that mind frame of being afraid of those children, or worrying about what they would do to me, and all these things that were kind of implanted as a child, I'll say. Both of you probably can agree that, when we went to school, the different kids were on the other side of the school and they rode different buses. So that stigma, it was there. I had the opportunity to go into a special ed class. I was very stressed out about it. I was afraid. The day I walked in, it changed my life, and it changed the way I viewed education as a whole, because I learned so much from those children. So yes, they are very vulnerable. They need people to stand up for them. They need people to speak for them, because sometimes they cannot. I also work with young girls in the juvenile detention system. The correlation between special education and, I'll call it, challenging behavior is a very real thing. So I've been blessed to be in both environments simultaneously and see, wow, I mean, these children were placed in special education. Parents maybe sometimes weren't involved as much as they thought they could be. it wasn't a cohesive situation, and so it led to other behaviors and other situations. So what I would love to do is to just create that awareness that we have to work together, you know, for these students to succeed, because they're capable. They are more than capable of being successful in their life, but sometimes it goes in another direction when people don't know exactly, you know, how this process works. So I'm excited to be a part of this project.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. And I just want to speak to that a little bit, because as a family law attorney, I represent parents, but I also represent juveniles, and that school to prison pipeline is real. And one of the underlying things I see in these cases, whether I'm representing someone in a divorce custody case, but whenever it involves children, and the children are having issues, it usually can relate back to their experience in their education, the experiences they have in that classroom. And if parents are not informed and empowered, then that has a direct impact on their children. So I think that we collectively have tapped into something here. And I think that we are going to be able, through this webinar, to provide so many resources to parents that will affect them in ways that they may not even appreciate and understand yet until they really hear all that we have to say and all that we have to offer. So I am just over the moon about this. I'm so proud and honored to be able to do this with you and then to pay this forward to the community. So again, I just want to remind everyone out there, stay tuned, because each week for the month of October, we're going to be dropping a Facebook Live, a video to give you more information leading up to the webinar that's going to take place on November 4th. That's a Thursday night at 6:30. There will be a question and answer period, so you'll get to talk to each one of us if you need to. We will be providing you with resources at that webinar. We're really excited to see you. So again, we're going to talk about overcoming the stigma of special ed, understanding what special education means in New Jersey so that you can effectively advocate for your child. Can't wait to see you. Stay tuned. Thank you, guys.